I said I met somebody else. Can't keep it to myself. You know I wish you well. Oh well, oh well. Ooh, ooh. You know I wish you well. I've loved music my whole life. My dad was a DJ, so I grew up constantly hearing different types of music. He was on the radio, so I go to the radio station with him. I was in the marching band when I was in high school. I played the drums. So music has always been just an integral part of my life, and I consider it to be like a second language. I would describe the music that we create to be very high energy, positive. I mean, you know, you can say top 40 pop, whatever, but really it breaks down more than that. It breaks down into the emotion that it gives the listener. And the emotion that I try to convey to the listener is one of positivity. I want you to want to dance and get out of your seat. And more importantly, I want you to come and hear it live. Bruno Mars is definitely an influence in my later years. Usher, The Weeknd, Chris Brown's incredible. He's one of the best artists of our time. But they all fall under the purview of Michael. So Michael is definitely the number one foundation there I'm missing. The creative process is really, it's funny because it's not something that I think about. You know, I go into the studio, I sit down with Will. Will turns around to me and says, so what are we feeling like today? And I'm like, man, on the way here, I heard this song by Anderson .Paak. I'd like to do something like this or whatever. And then he's like, okay, cool. He'll pull it up on YouTube, listen to the song a little bit, and then he just kind of gets to work. And watching him work is one of the most amazing things ever because he starts with, you know, a really awesome chord line, whether it be with the guitar, piano, whatever it is, the instrument that he picks up, he knows how to play it. It's the most fascinating thing I've ever seen in my life. And while he's working on making the beat, I'm sitting there writing line by line. So I kind of go with the vibe that he's giving me with the song, whatever the melody feels like to me, and I start writing along that vibe. So, you know, like with Somebody Else, the beat that he gave me, the first thing that I thought in my head was, this is savage. So we need to have lyrics that are also savage-like, but it's always done right there on the spot. It's usually done within a time frame of say two hours. We've got a 4-hour studio session. And usually the first 2 hours we spend perfecting the song that we started last week. And then the last 2 hours of the session, we spend creating something new. In the case of Somebody Else, I was able to get it fully written right there during that time. And we got it finished. And then I just came back the next week and did the ad-libs. It really was amazing how quickly this one came together. But that's what happens when it's good, because you can feel it. I would open for Anderson .Paak and the Free Nationals, baby. They are incredible. Best advice I've ever been given in regards to this industry is being told that we are not running a sprint, we're running a marathon. That's the best advice that I've been given, because it puts me in check. When I want things to happen too fast, I'm a very impatient person. So when I want things to happen now, to remind myself that we are in a marathon and not a sprint, I think is the best advice that I could utilize at this time. I would like to see more entrepreneurs in the industry. And it's not anything that I can necessarily change, it's within each individual artist. You know, I believe in being independent, not being a slave to a label or any other corporation. You know, I moved to the beat of my own drum. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 20 years old in different industries, and so I'm all about that. I'm on that boss level. I've got a lot of big plans, you know, like I've already started my own independent label. Once I break as an artist, my goal is to help other artists, but different than a regular label model, I want to give artists an opportunity to have equity in our label. So that way we're not just signing you to a record label, we're giving you an option to use your money to buy equity in this company, that as it continues to grow and as we continue to sign more artists, you then get those proceeds every 3 months with the return. So if you don't feel like putting out an album this year, you don't necessarily have to, because we're all a team and we're all working together. A label for artists by artists. That's really what I'm aiming for. I mean, definitely positively. You know, at first it was hard to navigate how it was that sales would be made without CDs and with the ability to download and stream and all that. But it's given artists like myself and other independent artists an opportunity to get their word out, to get their music out without necessarily requiring label support. Back in the old days, you required a label in order to do anything. Nowadays, you can make it on your own without label support at all. Oh man, Ski Money. That was really incredible because he's the first DJ to really support me like that and put me on his show every week. And I am just eternally grateful. I'm excited when I hear myself on the radio, especially down home in North Carolina, which is where I was raised. It's where I grew up. It's where my musical roots were sowed. So it really kind of brings it full circle to know that I made Ski Money's show down there in North Carolina, and it's a real honor. I'm glad that he likes me.
Wait, yo, who the f is Brad?